What's going on, family? What's going on? Another day to be thankful. You know what I'm saying? Another day to be thankful. But yeah, when you get to a certain type of level in targeting, when you get isolated and stuff like that, sometimes God puts you in a humble position where you actually need need people. You know, you'll be in a situation where you actually need people. But you know how it is, you get to a certain level and things like that, and the artificial behaviors and patterns of some people just kind of like, man, I could just do it myself. You know what I'm saying? I can do it myself. Like that, if y'all seen Scary Movie 2, Buddy with the wheelchair went crazy. I can do it myself. But but on the serious note, like, you gotta utilize your resources at some point. You know what I'm saying? And it's just not about taking from people who genuinely want to help. You know what I'm saying? There are some great people. God do send people. Just like there's a negative force, there is a positive force, and that operates in through people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just thankful that some people just helped stuck it out and made sure that I got home. Regardless of the mass people that just look at you and keep it pushing, like that ain't my problem. It's just it's a blessing. What God can do and who God can use. You know what I'm saying? And that just remind you, when you have the opportunity, God can use you too. You know what I'm saying? That's once again genuine preparation meeting genuine opportunity. It's a beautiful thing when people work in harmony, peace, and love. I can work in the unity of that, not in the unity of mind control and the unity of just using me, but in the unity of peace, harmony, and love. You know what I'm saying? Let me have the freedom to, worship God, you know what I'm saying, with my own intimate and my own genre of, you know what I'm saying, giving reverence to God. From what I understand, you know what I'm saying, what my heart tells me is right. You know what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing. It's very a beautiful thing. But today, just real quick, what I want to kind of go over, you know what I'm saying, is just, you know what I'm saying, when God told Lot, because Lot was Abraham's nephew, and they casted lots, like, they grabbed these, like, I guess with straws or something, and whatever was the smaller straw, that person won. So Abraham and Lot cast the lots, and Lot won. So they picked where they wanted to lay camp at. You know what I'm saying? Abraham made Lot like a leader of a clan of his people, and he chose, the direction that Lot went, or the city that he was in, was Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I'm saying? So in Sodom and Gomorrah, it's known for its sexual immorality, more so on the homosexual side. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people in that city was doing the butt. You know what I'm saying? Doo-doo brown. Doo-doo brown. You know what I mean? All that type of activity. You know what I'm saying? But God wanted to save Lot, and God said, if I could find 10 people, righteous people, you know what I'm saying, that's not out here just, wilding out, then I would save that city. You know what I'm saying? But there wasn't. So the angels came down to warn Lot to get up out the city, because the city's about to burn. So them people were so full of darkness, even when the angels came down, because it does say in the Bible, I think it's in Hebrews chapter 13, be careful how you treat people, because you might be entertaining an angel. You know what I'm saying? But needless to say, even when the angels was down there, you know what I'm saying, the people, they wanted to get it on with the angels. They wanted to do the butt with the angels. You know what I'm saying? Detestable. You know what I'm saying? And the thing, they was willing to give up their virgin daughters just to get to the angels. You know what I'm saying? That's the level, you know what I mean? Sin like that, where it reached up to heaven. They was burning with so much lust that it reached up to heaven. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not here to judge people outside of the belief. You know what I'm saying? People know, you judge people, when they're in that belief bubble with you. You know what I'm saying? And then you lead people to light with love. You let the authorities in this earthly system do the judging. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to spiritual judgment, you do your spiritual judgment towards people in the bubble. But what I don't like is when people try to create a narrative or try to force people in that Sodom and Gomorrah, or manipulate people or push people towards that Sodom and Gomorrah agenda. Sodomy. Where do you think they got the word sodomy from? You know what I mean? Anal. You know what I mean? Where they got that the sodomites from Sodom and Gomorrah. So that means that was their specialty, was doing the butt. You know what I'm saying? So it's no dirt and shame and no witch hunt on the Rainbow Tribe or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But if you believe in God and you practice in the Bible, you know what I'm saying? You should know that sexual immorality, you know what I mean? You're doing sexual immorality, you might as well, perform murder and things like that, which we're not perfect. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, you know what I mean? You sin against your own flesh when you go that route. You know what I'm saying? Many people who've been brainwashed and manipulated, or who feel like that's their calling, or that's the people that they relate to, if they have an essence of wanting to get with God, then that's not a path that they should go. And many religious leaders today probably won't tell you that, because, you know what I'm saying, they want to keep that money flowing. They're focused on the physical blessings. But when it comes to the spiritual blessings, we got to get to the essence of people, what is the urges and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But people outside of the belief system, hey, let the earthly laws handle that. You know what I'm saying? So if they're not breaking any earthly laws, hey, we can't judge them. Let them do what they do. But inside of our bubble, inside of what we can control, you know what I'm saying? That's what we judge upon. But anybody that gets in the belief system of believing in God, and they're still in a, you know what I'm saying, in a spider web of sexual morality, you know what I'm saying, operating off that mindset, then, you know what I'm saying, God will judge. And the people of God, you know what I'm saying, should be trying to lead you or purge that darkness out of you by setting that example and constantly cutting you up with the word. That's what the word is for, is to cut people up. It's cut them up and purge that darkness out of them with that word. You know what I mean? It's a double-edged sword. It's sharp. You feel me? But a lot of people's words, the sword is dull. So even the sexual morality can endure, you know what I'm saying, and still feel like they going to get that eternal blessing of the spiritual kingdom of heaven. You get what I'm saying? So that's not the route that children of God want to go through. Our children of God should be manipulated and forced into. This is a world of darkness. You know what I'm saying? Satan controls this world. So the Sodom and Gomorrah shows the current state of the world, more so of the Western world. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole world is not practicing this Sodom and Gomorrah, but especially here in America, the whole world in America, their agenda is this Rainbow Tribe, to pervert God's word as much as they can. Because the country was established, you know what I'm saying, of people trying to live for God. You know what I'm saying? And, people, even in the Catholicism age, where we know that was full of darkness, some of them people really wanted to try to lead people to God. They wasn't just in the mindset of giving people a book and taking over their land, giving them the Bible and taking over their land. They was trying to like lead heathens to be civilized, but they didn't know that, you know what I'm saying, it was prophecies for people to be in that Catholicism darkness. You know what I'm saying? And it was ran by, it had an antichrist spirit ran by. You know what I'm saying? So the thing now, history repeats itself, because the Antichrist is not flesh and blood. The Antichrist is a spirit. And many flesh and blood can take on the Antichrist. The Antichrist simply means against Christ. You know what I'm saying? Many flesh can take on that Antichrist spirit. You get what I'm saying? And follow into that path of being led into Sodom and Gomorrah, which is destined to burn. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's the choice is yours. God gave us all the free will choice to choose which path you want to take. But for those wise, those children of God, you know what I'm saying? You can't be burning with so much lust that you result into a Sodom and Gomorrah type behavior. You got to get out of that mindset. You know what I'm saying? You got to flee. You know what I mean? Even if you got people, family members, you know what I'm saying? You got to get out of that mindset. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep yourself rooted in the word of God. You know what I mean? Because things is operating off of heavy manipulation, heavy control, and heavy trying to push, even pushing it on people with undeveloped minds, with children, giving them the freedom to choose what gender they want to be, giving them the freedom you know what I mean? And that's just too early. And that's how you know we're living in a very dark state of time. Because back in the time, none of that was allowed. You know what I'm saying? People's going on witch hunts if you practice that type of stuff in the early American days. You know, America wasn't having that at one point in time. They weren't playing them type of games. People had to do that in secrecy like witches. But now everything is just coming out like, okay, you could do it as thou will now. You know what I'm saying? And people love that, where they can do their darkness, do their dirt, and stuff like that. People really getting into the mindset of loving that. So I guess that's probably what Donald Trump should have meant when he said, make America great again. You know what I'm saying? It's getting people in a mindset of not manipulating underdeveloped minds and children and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? If a person is grown, then they can have a choice of what route they want to go with sexually. But it shouldn't be for a person to be young to be forced to be like, what gender do you want to be and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So when you know the truth, you rise above the truth, you know what I'm saying? You make sure people in your belief bubble don't follow into that trap. And people outside, you just pray for them. You know what I'm saying? That's all we can do. But we're living in those times, you know, Sodom and Gomorrah. We're living in those times where people burning with lust so much, they even wanted to rape the angels. You get what I'm saying? That's just crazy. But I got to go back to work, y'all. Peace.